here. I overfilled the fuel tank, so that's leaking. Car looks pretty good. Still need minor adjustments on the suspension. Kinda, I guess you can call it a successful first drive again. Besides the fuel leaking, which is on top of that fuel head, there's a spot for the wires to come out, and you're supposed to seal that off or something. Well, I was still adding wires to it, so I didn't seal it off yet. But I went to go get gas. I filled it up, and I was like, should I fill it all the way or just do half? And then I was up to where about it should be full, and I was like, hasn't stopped yet. This is weird. Looked underneath, leaking gas everywhere. The car feels great compared to how it felt before. The steering feels good. Today I put a 170-degree thermostat in it because it had a 195, which is a factory F-150 deal, and the car was getting too hot. We didn't want to maintain temps and stuff, so I changed out the thermostat. Put an ARP crank pulley bolt on it because when I changed the timing cover on this, the engine was out of the car. I didn't have any way to hold the flywheel or anything, so I just hit it with an impact a couple times. I know you're not supposed to do that, torque to yield, blah, 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 blah. So I hit it with an impact, and then I meant to go back and fix it, but I never did, and I just remembered it, a few months back, and I was like, oh crap, I better go take care of that. So I got an ARP crank pulley bolt for that deal. Let's take a look at our little list here. E-brake done, that's done. So things we got left, we got to take it to get exhaust done. Wiring, I'm still working on. I don't know if I'm ever gonna call that really done. I would like to redo everything, and I'm not gonna redo it before Rmrw. So subframe connectors, I would like to do those before Rmrw, but if we don't have time to do it, then we don't have time to do it. Headlights, I just got to change the bulbs and maybe rewire some stuff. Turn signals, I got to wire in the front turn signals. Fender liners, I got to see probably if I can get a set. Topped off the coolant already. Yeah, everything here is, I'm surprised. Some of the stuff I didn't end up doing, the oil pump gears. I didn't do the 8AN fuel feed. I'm just going to save that stuff for later. But other than that, the car's doing pretty good. I don't even want to show the inside right now because there's wires and shit everywhere. But I did put a radio in it. I did put speakers in it. And that's something I really needed, because if I'm gonna be driving for hours and hours and hours in the heat, in the sun, I need something. I can't just not have anything. I can't have headphones. I'm probably gonna have earplugs in with the radio just jamming with windows down. So, yeah, other than that, I'm actually happy with the car. I have a Dakota Digital. They don't have a deal for the oil pressure. It does not read off the Ford computer. So, which it gets RPM off the computer, it gets coolant temp off the computer, it gets voltage off the computer from the OBD2 port. It will not get speed. It will not get oil pressure. So they make a deal to go on the factory oil pressure, so that way I can wire that in, so then I'll have an oil pressure gauge, which will be great. And then I just got to put this, I got a speed sensor for the T56, then you get that in. And then everything should be dialed. As far as the Dakota Digital gauges go, I think they look great. I love the look of them. It's fairly easy to set up. But what I don't like is, so like for my car, I decided to use the OBD2 port. All right, this is a mess in here, but as you can see, that's a little temporary speaker spot. I gotta fix all that up. This whole thing's a mess. The radio's not in, whatever. Anyway, for the Dakota Digital, if you want to use the OBD2 port, this is it here. It's plugged into the OBD2 port, which is right there. It's just weird because you have your main box. So you have your main box that comes with your gauges, and that has all these different little deals on it. But then, like, for me, I wanted to run off the OBD2 port because it was simple to get a bunch of signals off the OBD2 off the computer. So then you had to buy this separate box, which is another $200. So then you got two boxes. So you got two boxes. Then I wanted to control fan speed because right now through the Lund Racing tune, I believe they set the fans to come on at 180. Well, I had a factory thermostat that was 195. So it hit 180, the fans come on, and they would just stay on. It would never come down, the fans would never cycle, nothing, just fans the whole time. So I didn't like that. So I put the 170-degree thermostat, and I ordered a fan controller, which Dakota Digital Gauges offer the fan controller deal. So I got that, another $200. So far I've bought that extra box to plug it in at OBD2, extra box for the fan control, and the oil pressure adapter. So all this extra stuff, then I had to put all those boxes somewhere. They make a ton of boxes. They make boxes for speed, they make boxes for boost. I mean, there's all these extra boxes, but it's like, I wish they would just incorporate more into one main box, or have one main box and then one secondary box that incorporates anything you want. Because now I got boxes everywhere, wires everywhere, and I just hate that. So all this stuff is pretty much temporary, all the wiring, because I just need to get everything in and working, because we only have 20 days left, and I don't even have 20 days between work and everything else going on. So I'm down to days here. But like I said, the gauges themselves are nice. The boxes are kind of a mess. Also, I don't know if this is because I'm getting the signal off the OBD2 port from the computer, but the RPM gauge on this is delayed. So if I rev it, it'll be like whum, whum, whum. That was probably quicker than it actually is. I revved it at one time and it was like whum. Like, that's how slow it operates. Now, that's okay if you're cruising down the highway, but if you're, trying to ring this thing out the red line, you'll be hitting the limiter before the needle actually gets there and lets you know that you're about to hit the limiter. So don't like that. I honestly, I don't know. I mean, like I said, they're nice and stuff, but I wish I would have knew some of the stuff. I might have went with just some auto meter gauges. They were about the same price, maybe a little bit more expensive for the initial cost. So I think Dakota Digital was like $900. If you did all the auto meter gauges, it was like $1,000, $1,100. But now I'm $900 plus two $400 boxes, and whatever, or $200 boxes, $400, whatever it is. So I'm over that price. So yeah, as far as everything else though, the car is back up and running. I do need to get an alignment on it. The wheels look great. I still need to adjust some suspension, because this side, the rear end is a little bit high. That side, the front end is a little bit high. So I need to tweak it up a little bit more than what it is right now. And then I need to get it aligned. The alignment is actually, for just eyeballing it, the alignment is really good. So it's drivable just like this. I wouldn't mind taking it far like this. I just want the alignment to be perfect. So yeah, other than that, a couple more days of jamming on this thing, and it's gonna have to be it. It's gonna have to be ready to go. So I'll probably do another video on it right before, and we'll see what old Sketch Dog, what he's gonna end up bringing. If we're gonna jam on his turbo Silverado or not, we'll find out.